Hello everyone, welcome to my double page layout using Stamperia, which is, I'll just show you the pack under here, the Romantic Collection, a journal. So we're going to be using this paper pack, which I'll go through shortly. But just to remind you, we're going to start with the second page. So this is the second page that I'm doing here. We're just going to do a flip through so that you can see everything. This is what we're going to make. So this is the front page and it's on a flip. Okay, and we turn it over, making sure that you get to see it all. So I'm just going to move it over. In here, we're going to be doing a pocket. Okay, and on this side, so this is another flip on this side. So we're going to be doing that flip, and then we're going to be adding these elements here, and it's really simple when you get going. And we've got an 8 by 10 photo mat on this side, so that's really nice, large. All right, and we'll be putting in our embellishments. So we're going to get started on, I'm going to walk you through the paper pack so you can see, and I also can remind myself what we are using. So this is the pack that you get. Now it's quite some time since I actually did this, so I did this kit, so I'll be reminding myself as I go. So I'm just going to tear this off the pad as we go. So these are some of those larger elements that you'll use, some of the words that you'll use. So you can go ahead and cut those all out so that you can put them in your book when we're ready. Now just going back, I didn't cut them right on the line. You'll see that I've left a bit of space around them. So you can do the same. So I did leave, but you can please yourself. So this is the kit. Now some of this will go into the second. I'm just going to put that up there. We'll go into the second page. So we have this one, and I'm just going to pull them out as I work out which ones that I'm going to use, because I didn't tell myself when I was doing this. I was just going for it. So I will work out what pages I'm going to be using. And I think this one is in the second page. So I'll pull that out and I'll go through once I've worked out and gone through. But as I'm just going through and seeing what I've got here to what I'm going to be using. And then I can, so that is that page. And I'm thinking that we might be using this one. I'll tear this one off and just going through putting these up as I go so I can work out which one I'm doing, and just flicking through showing you some of the pages that we have, and then I'll go back through and work out which pages I'm going to be. Now I know this is the front page of the other one, so I'll put that aside there. The other page, beautiful pages. Now this one is my back page, so I know that I'm going to be using that, so I'll put that one here to use. Not sure about these, but I know they're definitely. Put those up there. Just lump these. I'm just going through working out what I'm going to be using. Happiness was that one, and then the clock is what I needed. When I started doing this, I wasn't sure which way I was going. I'll be cutting out now these so I can get down here and cut these out, and I'll show you what you've got to do, and then it'll all go from be much easier. So these here we'll be using, so you can cut all these down along here, so that's another cutout thing for you to do. You can fussy cut these. We'll be using mainly these parts, but you can fussy cut those so you've got them, and you will need to fussy cut these out. So these are the pages that you'll fussy cut. All right, And so I'll go back and grab out the pages that I need. So I'm going to be using this page here, which has happiness on it. So that's this front flip, even though it doesn't look like it to you guys, but that is definitely the one I'm using. And then I'm going to use, and we've got this one, which is the back of the flip, so that's that one. And then for the middle page, we are using, let's go and find it, make sure I get the right one. And we are using this one. All right, so I can just put those aside for one moment. So I'm using that one there. So that is our back page. All right, this is the flip page. And this is the other part of the flip page. All right, and then I've used, I'll have to go through and we've used some of these little smaller pieces. You can see I've used this little piece here, down here. I've used one of those squares that we're going to be cutting out in here. So there you go. So we're going to be using those. So those 3 pages are the ones that we're using. So I'll go through that again, because no doubt as I was flicking through, I was confusing you. All right, so we're using these 3 pages for this kit. All right, and then your fussy cutting, I'll fussy cut this piece out. You're going to cut your squares, so down the center of those, each of those, you need to cut those out, and you need to cut these elements out. Okay, so now just what you do need to have, so apart from your main papers here, you need your cardstock. Now I will put this up in the website, on the Facebook page for you, so that, and I'll just pull that up there so you can see. So I just wanted to go through so you can see what you need to have. So you need your 1 8x10, okay. You need to cut 1 sheet of your cardstock. You need to cut into 4x12s. So you'll cut a whole sheet. So it'll be 4 inches by 12 inches. You'll need to cut that, and then you need to cut, you'll have 2 of those will be cut into 4x12. You'll need a what am I saying? You need 2 6x4s. You will need 4 of these 4 inches by 4 inch pieces. So you need 4 of those. Okay, you will need 2 3 by 4 inches. Okay, so you'll get that all out of that one sheet with a tiny bit left over. Then when you measure your 8 by 10, you'll have a strip, a 4 inch strip. Out of that 4 inch strip, you can cut your 2 by 6s. So that will give you everything that you need. So that will be all your plain cardstock that you will need for this actual, and you need one more piece, one full 12 by 12 piece, which is what is going to mount our card on. All right, so we'll start that. So this will be the first part of this. I'm going to go away now and cut, trim down this large piece to go onto your page, to make your page, and cut the other pieces down so you can see how I've cut them down, and then I'll come back and show you how it all goes together. So while I do that, you can grab all your pieces and do some of your fussy cutting. Okay, so I'll be back shortly. Okay, now welcome to the second part of our class in doing we're doing the second part. So this is only the second video, but this is that we're doing the second page first. So just going through, we've gone through and worked out what papers that we have to use for this one. So, and we've done the cutout for the plain cardstock. So we've done those. Remembering, I will be posting, there'll be notes in the Facebook Live where you'll see this video. Now I've gone ahead and cut my pieces, so I just want to go through, and I have done a couple of things, because I don't think you need to see me mount these off. So this is our foundation page. So this is everything's going to go onto this page. So I have trimmed off this page here. I've taken 1/4 inch off the top and 1/4 inch off the side. Let's get this out the way. So it's the love one, sorry. So yeah, 1/4 inch off the top and 1/4 inch off the side, which by doing just the top and the side only, once you place it onto your plaid cardstock, you'll get a nice even edge, where you should, if everything is being cut square. Okay, so I've gone ahead, I've inked mine. Now in my original I did it in Vintage Photo Distress, but I'm now using the Distress ink Black Soot. I thought I'd do this one a bit different, just slightly different color. So now just going back over now to do these, get these pages sorted for you so that you can see. So this one is going to go here. So this is the underneath one. So it will go here. You can see the clock here. All right. So it's going to go sit in there, and I'll show you how to put that together. So what I did, now I made some notes, and I wish I'd brought them up. So when you cut your page, and I think what I'm going to do to make it easier for you, I have got a pack open. So I'm just going to find that page so I can show you where I actually cut it. That way it'll be probably make more sense to you than me rambling on. So this is the full page. This was the full page that you're cutting from. But what I've done is when I cut this, and the measurements are up. Goodness, I should have... I'm annoyed. Anyway, doesn't matter. I can measure it up for you. It is 10 1/4 by 10 3/4 from memory. Yes. So, but I cut it from the right side. Okay. So you want to cut it down, cutting off on the right side. Okay. So you'll measure across from the left to the right, 10 1/4, cut down, and then 10 3/4 along the bottom. So that gives you that piece that's going to go there in the middle. All right. So, and look, it's not going to be well, this one is, because you do need your clock there if you're going to do it exactly the same as me. All right. So then this piece here, and keep all your bits and pieces. Now, just what was on the bottom of that. So I'll just put that to the side. Just want to show you these pieces, because I know that you'll get confused if I don't. So I'll just make sure that we've got these pieces intact. There's nothing worse. There you go. So that was that piece in there. So keep all your scraps so that you've got them. All right. So that's that. Now the next piece I cut down, and I'll just find it in the pad so that you can see it, is this piece here. And just going to go through and grab that piece out to show you how I cut that one down. And I have written it up in the instructions on the cutting sheet. I have told you which side to cut from. So this is the sheet that you'll be cutting from. So this is the full sheet, and this is the sheet that I have cut down. And again, I've cut, so this time you want to measure from the left. So the measurements, so this is 9 by 9, and I've taken it, put that in the right corner. So you'll measure your 9 from the right top corner. Okay. And this piece is going to be cut in 1, but I was not watching. And where did I put it? I know I've got it here somewhere because I'm going to patch it. I'm so annoyed. So annoyed. So that's the piece there that goes there. I'm still using the one that I cut down. I just sliced down instead of cutting across the bottom first. So cut across the bottom first, guys. And that is the page that's going to go there. Now there is one more page that I didn't mention to you, and it is the page that is, and it's not in that book, but because I've used it, but it is this one here. So on your back of your page, it's this one here. So you do need that one in this one, and we didn't pull it out in the previous video. So you're going to cut a piece to go on the inside of that, and that's going to make your pocket when we get to that page. Okay, so that is the other piece, and that will be cut at 9 by 4, I'm pretty sure it is. But again, as I said, we have got your pieces already written up, so the measurements written up so that you'll be able to follow what you've got to cut. So now going to put, so I've already stuck this down, so you're not going to be watching me. Now the next thing that we need to do is score these pieces, and making sure that we score on the right side. So just grab my scorer. This is one of my tools that I use the most of. So I'm taking the top flip and I'm going to score this down 1 inch. And then while I've got the score out, we're going to score the other piece, and it is down on, you're going to score on the right side, okay, the right side of the clock, and you're going to score down 1 inch from the right side edge. And now I need to score one more piece, and I'm going to score. Now I grabbed out my pieces that I used, and I'm going to mat these, but this one here goes in and on the underside flap there, and I do need to score that at 1 inch as well because of the way it goes on the. So I'm just going to score it, making sure I've got it the right way. Yep, so I've done that, so I don't need to score anything else at this stage, I'm sure. Oh, yes, I do. And I'm thinking that I'm going to score this piece here. I'm going to score a 1/2 inch on either side, because I do want it to have be fitting onto my page here. So this piece, when it's attached to here, we need to attach it. It's going to be attached there and here, and by cutting it down, it's going to fit in there nicely. All right, so that's where that is going to go when we get to that page, when we get to it. So that is all the scoring that you need. So you can do all your scoring, and then you've got that, we're ready to put our page together. So we've got our top flip, all right. We've got our pocket to go underneath, all right, when we get to that, and we've got our flip for the right side. Okay, so there are our main pieces there. Now I'm going to cut these down and mount this, and we've also got our flip that goes, it's not a flip, it's just going to go in there. So, and I wanted to put that score because it needs to bend easy with the other, so that will go there. So I put all my pieces here roughly so I know I've got them all. Now when I do these, I need to trim these down to fit my pieces of cardstock that I've already cut, and I cut them down because it all fitted in with the, as you might remember when we did the video, I did it yesterday, but you'll be getting it all in one hit, that it works well with the cardstock pieces on less wastage. So I'm just going to trim these down with my trimmer, and I'll go all the way around, and hopefully that will be enough to give me a little border. So as you can see, I don't think I did that one, but I'll just see if that gives me a nice little border. I think I can just come off that side a little bit. Just take a little bit off this side. Okay. Now, I did leave I'll ink that one in a minute. I'll do the same to this one. So I'm just going to carefully trim a few pieces off. So it hopefully gives me a nice little edge. This, as I said earlier, I have had this made quite some time. I just haven't got to it to actually get it. I'm just going to trim that to just a fraction off there. So I'll put that there. Now I will look for my ink. I just thought, well, I'm probably going to put my kids' wedding photos in here for my 2 grandchildren. So I thought, well, I do, they'll get one each, a set each, so they've got them of their parents' wedding. So I thought that using a different distress ink along the edges will just make it that little bit different. And I like using a sponge. You can use blending brushes and everything. I'm just so used to it. It's the one thing I started with when I first started, and I just haven't got used to using anything else but that. So I'm just going to take now I know I'm working in 2 rooms at the moment, so doing lots of things in between. So my my gun that I usually use, my tape runner, is actually in the other room, but I'll just use this double-sided tape, and that's all good. So I'm really happy to be actually getting this done. It's been sitting there. Don't procrastinate. I've got too many things going all at once, and it's become a bit of a nightmare. So I'm determined before I start too many new things to actually get a couple of the older things out the way. So I'm finally getting this done, and then I've got another project that's just about finished. I have shown it, the Alice in Wonderland pages. They'll get done, and I'm going to do the same thing here as I've done here for the video. I think that's the easiest way. I'm still trying to work out how to do online classes for paper craft, so this is all experimental. So hopefully I can get to trim the video and make it a little bit more smooth running. for you guys. So this is all experimental, so hopefully by the time I've done 1 or 2 videos, it will be easy for you to follow, and I'll be able to get and do a few more. I like having, I'm actually enjoying doing the video because I can pre-cut some and you're not watching me cut. And if I make a mistake, it's not online and I'm not stressing out. I can fix it or decide what I'm going to do before I go live. So, and put this one down. So just having a few of these things prepared, and I'm sure there's another one I've got to do. And what I haven't shown you yet is that you do get the die cuts in this, with this kit as well. So I'll get those out. When we start embellishing with those, I'll grab those out and show you, but that also comes with the kit. Now I will find the name. This actual not some of the technique that I've using in here was inspired by somebody else that I saw, and I'll get her name so that I can give you the right name that I was so it's not completely my own design. The actual some parts have been inspired by somebody else. So yeah, and I think everything we do is inspired by somebody. We watch other people do their thing, and we think, oh, that's a good idea, and you start doing it, but then you actually go off on your own. You sort of think of something and go, oh, I can actually do this and I can do that, and I think being inspired by somebody is a starting point sometimes, and then you go off on your own and I think that's good too. But I think it's always nice to acknowledge where you actually learnt something from or followed somebody's tutorial and got something out of it. And I think that's I'm just going to have a quick sip of my coffee. I think it's nice to acknowledge, and I think it's nice for them to know that we actually learnt something from their tutorial. Okay, so what we're going to do now, so we're going to put this piece on here, and you saw that we scored it. So the piece that's scored, so I'll put my covered pieces over here and bring this back down. So this piece here is going to go on, and I'm going to put it roughly in the center. I'll ink it first. I actually like the feathery look that you get from when you use a piece of foam. I actually get my foam from Clark Rubber. I go to their scrap section and pull out a few pieces and buy it, and then I come home and cut it up with the electric knife, and I only have to do that every 3 or 4 years. Okay, so I've got that there now, and it's going to close like that. So I think that that's where I'll position that. So I think I'll put that on now. So to do that, all I do is double-sided tape down here. Now you could use glue, but I find glue buckles a lot. So I'm using double-sided tape. And this here, and I do find if you make sure you got that the right way and line it up with your edge, I just lightly put it down once I'm sort of happy that it's there, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to get my scorer out and just furnish that, because I think once I do my tape, I try and really make sure that I've really rubbed that tape down. Go along there because I didn't do that earlier when I did this. So I'll just make sure I've got all that in. So now that's in, and look, that's nice and flat, and that's what I like about this. It's not it's nice and flat to stick these flaps on. You could have yeah, and the one thing about the Stamperia paper, it is lovely strong paper. So I'm going to go ahead and put this other flip in as well, and that's exactly the same. So I'm going to double side tape that, making sure I've got that up for you. Now I'm just using using Ventura Creations double-sided tape, but I use the Sue Wang tape, I use the Express It tape. I use lots of different tapes. I have, you know, don't really have a preference as long as it's all burnished down really well. Now this one, I'm going to make sure that I've positioned this one evenly, and burnish that down. So then I've got that flip as well. I'll get rid of these and come back in and show you. So we've put this flip on and we have put this flip on, which looks different because we have got our papers to put on. So now so I wanted this piece to look a bit more like this, so that is why I ended up. So I just wanted to make sure, and that's what I was looking at. I did put in, and you can't even see that I did that join, but I might on this one I'm just going to take it back a little bit, but I did put that in there. I had to go back and see. I was looking at what I'd done there. Now, so that's what's going to happen in that bit there. So I'll leave that there, so I remember that that's what's going to happen. But we're working on this page. I just wanted to show you because you'd have been looking at what I was looking, going, oh, that doesn't look the same. But I had to remember. So now this is going to go here. Now I want to be very mindful that when I stick this, it's got to make sure that it comes over. So, and when I did that, I know I pushed this out. So I'm going to make sure I come back a bit, so that when that comes over, I'm going to tape this bit down first and just make sure making sure all my tape is folding back over itself so it doesn't stick to the page. But I want it to go right to the top, and I want that there. Now I'm going to stick this back a little bit, probably just a fraction, but it's so that when it closes, it's not going to buckle. So I'd rather have a little piece there showing. Still didn't get that right down there. It's going to stay now. Just want to get that right along there. So now I know that before I stick the bottom down, I need to make sure that this side comes over. I'm just going to roll it a little bit further, just a fraction. Only needs to be a little bit, but I'm just going to roll that over on the crease and recrease that. comes in. I think I can just want to roll that back over there a little bit. It doesn't need much, it only just needs that tiny fraction, because I know I'll come in. And before I attach it all down, make sure, yes. So now I'm going to attach that to the bottom and to the top. Again, just making sure. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape along the bottom. And happy with that. You've got a nice edge there and a nice edge down there. So that is our pocket, and what I did with that pocket, we'll come back to that, but it had, I think I need to do this top one first. I do need to do that top one first. So what we did here, so we're going to go across here, back to here, and I used the Love, and it stuck across the top of here, and then this one here come down to here, roughly about there. Now make sure that you don't put anything over the crease, so you want to come well and truly in over the crease. And remember, you're going to put a photo mat there. You can do whatever it is that you want to do there. Now also on this page, you need to have a little bit of scrap, and I'll just make sure I don't grab the wrong piece. Oh dear, this was this piece here, which is good. So I found that piece. So this piece that you've got that writing in that I told you where I'd cut a little bit extra off, just go in and you want to cut it about there. That's where mine cut. Let's double check mine. Yep. So I'm just trimming mine off here. And that's that piece that I'm going to use up the top later. Okay, so I've got this piece is going to go up here. All right, and then I'm going to have this photo mat's going to go here. Having a little look around, make sure I've got this about right where, because I know that people will want it very similar to what mine is. And then this will go down here. Now what goes on here is one of your little 3, and I just put that there like that, went across there. And then on here, so I'll do that first. We'll get these stuck down and then we can work on whatever. Okay, so this is going to go to the flip, so I'll just do that across the page. So I'm just going to make sure I do across here. And you know what? I'm going to, just in case with scraps over, sometimes I like to put secret notes in, and I didn't do it in this one, so I'm just going to show you. So I'm just putting, I've put my tape here so that I'm going to glue that, tape that down there. I've put a piece of tape on this side and a piece of tape down here, that which means that when this is attached, if I want to, and I want to put a little tag in, I can put a little tag in there if I want to. So I'm just doing that in this piece. When I did my original, and this is what happens, I get on a bit of a roll the next one round. I think, oh, I can do this, this and this. So I'm just showing you that that's what you can do. That's what I'm going to do in this one. So I'll take the tape off here. Making sure I don't go over where I've put my tape. Get that pretty straight, and that's all taped on. And so now I should have a little place where I could put a little tag in there if I wanted to. So that's giving me enough room to put a tag in. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do attach down here. So I'll do that one, and I'm just going to go make sure this time I'm going to leave this bit on this side. Okay, so that's the two top pieces on. So just showing the original to start with. So back again. So we've got the flip, and we've just put those two pieces on. And now we are about to do this piece down here, and I'll ink up the edge. So we'll come back and do the embellishment. We'll get all these pieces on. Hopefully when I put this video together, it'll all come together nice and smooth, and you won't have any stopping and starting. It'll all just, hopefully, that's the plan. Whether it works out like that, we shall see. Alright, so then we've got some embellishments to go here, but we'll do that next. We've put our pocket in. Got it now. I'm going to put a piece in here, but I'm just going to wait and see. It was a little bit of, I had a bit of clock face or off a scrap, I would imagine, further along the track. So I'm just going to leave that plain for the moment, but a piece will go in there. So this here is going to go up here above there, and that only went up probably halfway. And the writing on the original is there because I used, in the original I used further down the piece of paper, whereas where there was writing, but this one I've used the other end to get the full leaf and that in. So I'm just going to put some glue tape on here and tape this in. And I'm just going to put that in here. That's better. Okay, so now I've got that in there, and I'll be able to, once I've finally covered that, then we'll put our sayings in and we will decorate down here. So that is that bit. So we'll go across now and decorate what's got to go on the top here. I might do underneath first though. So we're going to put this piece in. Just making sure that I end up with the same product. I'm just reminding myself what I did do. And I've got those marks there, and I'm just trimming that off so it's going to fit nice and evenly. And I haven't got my trimmer in, but I think it's going to go nicely there. And then that hopefully will blend in. Just going to ink this side. I'm carefully going to ink around this side. And then just making sure I get this right again. I'll close that piece and I'm just going to put this in, and I'll just make sure I'm not going to ink the inside edge, but I'm going to ink the edge down this side and the bottom edge. And I'm going to take this. So I'll just take one piece off. I'm not going to take both pieces off. I'm just going to take the inner edge off first and make sure I get that down nice and straight so that I haven't got a lot of I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to put that there. And I just wanted that because when I go re-put this piece on now, I know that I've sort of, it's like having a border. Just making sure my hands are clean because I've got ink. Now you don't, I'm doing this, putting my photo mats down as I go, but you could, if you're frightened of getting ink and that all over it like I should be, you can leave your photo mats to a bit later, to your closer into finishing. You can just get your other bits done. So I'm going to take this piece off first. I'm just going to pop this piece sitting over it just so I don't damage it. Alright, so don't get confused. I've just covered that so it's over and don't get anything on there. Now, so we're going to open this up and we're going to decorate this bit. So inside, looking back at my original, I have 2 4x6 photo mats in here. And what else do we have in the center? All right, so we've got to have one of these, one of those, and our saying up the top. So we'll put all those pieces in. Grabbing one of these out. I'll probably use the one I had up here, but that's okay. I'll put remembered. So this is where I don't have to be really terribly fussy about where, because I know that I can put that in. And that's where that went. Because I knew that there's not much of this that you see. So I can just change that. So what I'm doing, so I can just show you, just so you can see what I'm fiddling at. I've got to get this sign in here and put that there. So I'm just working that out. So I've just trimmed a little bit off there. I want to make sure I'd like to get most of that in there, and it's not quite the same. Nothing ever is quite the same. That's where I'm going to put all this. So I'll glue this, stick all this down. so you can see. So you'll be putting hopefully your piece in one. I've cut my page down first instead of across, so I ended up with this being in 2 pieces, but you, after watching the start of this video, won't have done that. So, but I did, so I had to put this in. But who receives this page is not even going to know that I made that little mistake by the time we finish. Okay, so that's where that's going to go, so I'm happy with that, so I'll stick all that down. I'll make sure I bring my gun in when I do the next bit. Sorry, I'm going to try and remember to make sure I get in focus, or you'll be watching nothing going on. So I'm just going to put that down there, and then that can go across there. Another reason why we ink as well is that you sort of hide your cut marks. Sometimes the paper has a white core in the center and it shows up, but when you ink it, it hides it. Just want to make sure I get this in there right. And I'm not really trying to line it up with anything except probably making sure it's straight there. So you will be able to now get your page, put your page together, your second page together, and without too much effort. So that is that page, the main part of it down. We've got to do our embellishments, but I think I would like to come back and do the embellishments. I'm going to come finish this now at that point. As I said, when I put the video together, it'll probably run right through and smooth, and you'll say, what is she on about? And you'll know that we've gone and put slice the video and put it all together. I just think that that's got to go in there. That is correct. So I'm going to actually, so I don't lose this piece, I'm actually going to put this in here. And now I've put that in there so that when that folds up, that's not going to interfere with that. So I can put that down as well. So make sure when you do that, that you actually get that in the crease. And I will go back over and, as I said, burnish all my tape down. I've only been moving along quite quickly to try and not bore you. So you do need to go and make sure that you've got all your tape burnished down. Now, I'm just going to put that in on the edge. And there you go, that's got that nice. Okay. And good. Once that opens and shuts a bit, that'll So happy with that. Alright, so we've got everything down, bar our embellishments and our little title quotes. So we'll do that, and I think that I think I might have used this in my original, but I'm going to wait and see what I have left over and hopefully just put a little piece in there so that I can put my quote over. So I'm not quite sure whether I'll do exactly the same. I think I might have used that this piece, but I'll just wait and see until I get to the other bit. You'll be able to get on and at least get this part done before we do the embellishments. Alright, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next part.